Hi friends, it's Terry Stewart, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, located in the U.S. in Central Maryland. Welcome to this February 2026 version or edition of our Global Share Fair. My project today features the Easter Basket bundle, which is found in the mini catalog, the January to April 2026 mini catalog, and I'm really excited to share it. Oh, it also has a product that's an online exclusive that I think you're going to love. I love it. I think you're going to love it. So let's get started. So as I said, I'm using the Easter Basket bundle, and this is found in the mini catalog. I'll do a brief catalog tour following my presentation. So the reason why I decided I needed to have this bundle is I love bunnies. I am the Stamping Hair. That was a logo I had for a while. I just have a thing for cute little bunnies, and these are super cute. And there's some other imagery for spring, for Easter. There's this little chick, some eggs, a carrot. Now for spring you got some flowers here. And then of course you have these lovely sentiments. Easter, about Easter, there's a spring, and the For You that I've used not only for Easter, which this card is kind of an Easter card, but I've also used the For You for Valentine's. So it's a versatile set. And then you have the dies, which makes a super cute Easter basket, and these strips it cuts, and you can weave them through your basket to add a little color. Of course, you can cut out the images of the bunnies, which I love, the flowers, the carrot. We're going to use the carrot, the bunny. I think that's the only die cuts I have today, but you can also do some flowers, some Easter eggs, a little bit of grass, a bow. Super cute, and the stem for your flowers. Let me show you my card. This is the card. And so we have that cute little bunny and the carrot and the For You. The stamp set also includes this little floral bunch that I have stamped in the back. The suite has this really sweet gingham. This is a balmy blue gingham, and I've put that behind this background. This is actually paper. So let me show you all the supplies. Now there is a PDF that goes with this event. Ask the demonstrator who invited you to the event. She'd be more than happy to get that PDF out to you. All you have to do is ask. No other requirements. So the ingredients I am using is a half sheet of Pretty in Pink cardstock, which is scored in half. And the PDF that I mentioned will have both imperial measurements as well as metric. For the inside, I've used a piece of basic white. I've got another piece of basic white, and this is a 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 inches, which comes out to be 1.3 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters. I have a piece of balmy blue that's 3 1/8 square or 7.9 centimeters square, and then I have a scrap of basic white that I'm going to do my die cuts from. So let me set this aside and show you the last ingredient, and this ingredient is the Splash of Sparkles Designer Series paper. This is an online exclusive, and I encourage you to check out the online exclusives because they are amazing. There's always something that I find that I just must have, and this was the paper, because of course it has, one side has pastel prints, and then the other has foiling, silver foiling. So it's bright, pretty, variety of colors, but again, that's that foiling. And paper with foiling gets me every single time. I'm just a sucker for paper that has, well, this one has gold foiling, so it has silver or gold foiling in it. Kind of a watercolor wash on both patterns. And so I am using this pattern that has like these watercolor swatches on it. And that's how I made the background. Well, let me move this way. Made the background for this card, this blue swash. It looks like a watercolor wash, but I didn't make it. It came printed. So what I did was I cut, let me bring in my paper trimmer. So I cut this paper at 3 inches, which is 7.6 centimeters. And then so let me cut this at 3 inches or 7.6 centimeters. And this becomes my background. So super easy, no watercoloring involved. And then I can make other ones. Now I've kept the balmy blue layer because I want to use that balmy blue gingham ribbon. No, it's not quite centered, but that's no worries. And then I'll put my bunny on top of that. So I think as long as you have the balmy blue, it ties it to the ribbon. I don't really know that it matters what color this block is or what watercolor image. So I think you could use the pink, I think you could use the purple, or as I did, the balmy blue. And in this case, let's see, I don't even know what colors. Probably a the colors, you can find the colors here on the back, and that is probably, it says shaded spruce, but it's got to be a lighter shade of shaded spruce, don't you think? That's what I think. And the other one, yeah, is balmy blue, shaded spruce, pretty in pink. Yeah, so that's what I did. So to get started, I'm going to stamp the background on my pretty in pink. I'm going to stamp the bunny and the carrot, color those with Stampin Blends, and then die cut them, and then I'm going to stamp this for you. And then I left it blank on the inside, as I normally do, because I like to personalize my cards. You've probably heard me say that before. I just feel if I stamp a greeting or an sentiment on the inside, usually it's the wrong thing, it doesn't go with the person I want to send the card to. I just find it's easier to personalize my cards. And then at the time I'm going to mail them, if I decide then, I can stamp something on the inside. So let's get started with our stamping. So I'm using this floral image. Now this is the new packaging that both the stamp set and the dies come. It's the same size, so you can store these together. The dies also have the images on the front, so no more trying to guess whether you have all your dies, one's missing. What I've done is when I got my stamp set, I peeled off this flimsy acetate on the back, and I inked all the stamps on this sheet, inked it with Memento ink, and then used a piece of cardstock. Now this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It might be a little smaller or longer on one side. And then I put that down and used the block to go over it. Now I know if I'm missing a stamp, so I'm going to stamp the bunny, the carrot, which I took out earlier, and also this flower image, which I'm going to use now. So I can just remove that. There we go. Now I do keep the acetate on the other side, just because I don't want anything to get on my stamps. So that's how I storage. That's my little tip and trick. Of course, you could use any color cardstock. I just happen to have this. I think that's seafoam green. And then I can take place my stamp image on my block, and here's my card base. I've already scored that in half, and now I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to crisp up that score line like so. Fold it over just to make sure it's flat. There we go. And now I am ready to create my own background using the pretty in pink ink. And the way that I do that is, oh, where's my sample? There we go. So I ink it up And I really don't need to worry so much about the center because my focal piece is going to cover that, but I generally start in the middle and then I move up and over and then down and left, and then I fill in. So some I'll have on the page, some will be off paper, and that just gives a little bit of interest. And the same thing down here, putting different heights, and then some are off and some are on, and there you go. And that's it. That's simple. So that's all for the pretty in pink, and now we're going to do our memento stamping. And I'm going to stamp on this white piece. That's my scrap piece of cardstock, and then this little piece of basic white with my memento. So let's move this out of the way, and this is the For You. Ink that up well, and then I'm going to stamp it right in the center. Let's see. I'm having a hard time seeing through it. Get my head over. And then give that a nice little press. Perfect. And then on my scrap paper, I'm going to stamp my bunny. Get him inked up very well, and then I'm going to color him before I die cut him. So there we go. Give that a nice little press. Perfect. And then the carrot. I'm not one to do a lot of coloring, and if I do any coloring, I try to keep it to a minimum. Just not my jam. I know some people love coloring, not for me. So I keep it pretty simple and quick. So I'm using Stampin Blends. I've got the dark, well, the combo set of pumpkin pie. I have the light Fleur de Flamingo and the light Old Olive. So the light Fleur de Flamingo, I'm going to do the inside of his ear and his cute little button nose. Quick, easy, and done. And then for the carrot, I'm using the Old Olive for the carrot, the greens on the carrot. And you can go over it if you want it darker. But I thought the light color kind of worked with the pastels. And here is the dark pumpkin pie, and I'm just going over these lines to give it some depth. And you could probably leave it like that, but since I have the light colored pumpkin pie, I'll just quickly go over it. And that's it. Done. Voila. Now I'm going to use the coordinating dies, the carrot, and this bunny. I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine and cut this out. And I'll be right back. And voila, here we are. So this carrot is going to get stuck onto our bunny with some multi-purpose glue. So I'm just going to put, oops, it's a lot of glue. I didn't mean to do that. Usually I just put a little dab, because a little dab will do ya. And put that so you can see the one hand There we go. Perfect. So now our bunny is done, and we can start assembling. Oh, one other thing. I want to cut this for you piece at a diagonal. So the trick is find an angle you like, snip it, keep that piece to create the angle on the other side. So just line it up like so, and you'll get the same angle. So that piece I cut off on the right, I moved over to the left, and I'm going to follow that to snip off, and then you'll have the same angle on the right and the left. Quick little tip there. All right, so let's get to assembling. First thing I want to do is to adhere my DSP piece to my square of balmy blue. Don't you just love foiling? It kind of almost breaks my heart a little bit to have to cover it up, but you know, I'm sure there's another project that I could be making and will soon with the other side. But for now, this watercolor circle is going to work very well with this project. Okay. Now I can decide, I can do a little dry fitting and decide, since the circle, there's more weight on the left and the top than the bottom and the right. Maybe I want it this way. So these two sides are more evenly matched than the top and the bottom. And see how our bunny fits in there. Yeah, I think that's going to be perfect. Oh, and look at that. This green, I guess it's a shaded, it kind of picks up a little bit of green in the carrot top. So this is going to work perfectly. This square, I'm going to adhere with some multi-purpose glue. And don't worry, I will be using dimensionals. Anybody that knows me, I am the queen of dimensionals. So I'm just trying to make sure that the right and the left, that these two are very similar. And I'm just eyeballing it. I mean, if you are one who needs perfection, then you can get out your ruler and do that. But for me, eyeballing is going to work fine. And the bunny will get the dimensionals because I am the queen of dimensionals. Oops. So we'll be having dimensionals. And I'm going to snip a little bit off for his ear. So let's do like this for the ear. Up here. Okay, and then for the for you, these dimensionals will just fit. So I'm going to use 2 of those. I love dimensionals. Okay. So there, our bunny is going to sit kind of in the center, the for you. Now we need our ribbon, and this is this gingham ribbon. It's a 1/4 inch wide, which is 6.4 millimeters. And I need 4 1/4 or 10.5 centimeters. And I'm just going to lay it across and snip it on the end over here. I didn't get all the way through. Finish that up. Okay. And to adhere that, I am using mini glue dots. So find one here, glue dot, and I'm just going to put it right behind the end. And then I can adhere this down, pull it across, and remove another glue dot. My take your pick tool, slide this one off. Got it. And maybe use my grid paper to figure out where to put this so it's straight across. I think right about there. That looks about right. And I can trim this up. Perfect. Now, the sentiment's going to go right on top of that, and that will also help secure the ribbon. Remove these covers. And hopefully get this straight across. Perfect. Let's put our bunny on. Remove these covers. And then the bunny is going to sit, I think, a little above the circle, so his feet are inside the circle and his ear is going to stick out. And then on the inside we can place our white panel, and I did cut this a little smaller than usual, so it's 3 3/4 inches by 5, which is 9.5 centimeters by 13.9. I've found that I'm using this size more. I just like the look of this frame around my inside of my cards. So there we go. And then the last thing are some, for the front, some rhinestones, a little bit of bling. So let me open these up. And I'm going to use the other end of my take your pick tool, this other putty end, and do a large rhinestone, small rhinestone here in the corner, and then coming down diagonally. Our eyes just like that triangle shape, to be drawn that way. So there you go. So that is my card featuring the Easter basket along with some DSP online exclusive Splash of Sparkles. So as I promised, well, first I want to ask you, do you prefer or do you think it matters which color I used on the background? I think the green shaded spruce looks just as well as the balmy blue, and I'm sure the pretty and pink circle or the whatever gorgeous grape it is, I think the pastels work together as long as you use some color to tie them both. So this gingham ribbon and using the background of balmy blue, I think that it works together. Love to hear your thoughts on that. So, quick catalog tour. This is the mini catalog, January to April 2026. And on page 35, this is where the basket bundle is, the stamp set and the dies. And right next to this is the same page where you can find that really super cute balmy blue gingham ribbon that's 1/4 inch or 6.4 millimeters. Super cute. And don't forget the online exclusive to find that splash of sparkles. And then from the annual catalog, this is where you'll find the rest of the items that I used. Here are so first let's start on page 112 at the bottom. That's where you're going to find the Stampin' Dimensionals. And I used the regular Stampin' Dimensionals. You could use the mini ones. They're all the same. And then page 113 is where the multi-purpose glue and the mini glue dots come in. And then on page 125, this is where you'll find those basic rhinestone basic jewels here at the top. And then we move on to page 131. It's Memento ink that I used. And then here in the back, we have basic white cardstock, which I've used for the die cuts and the front and the insert. And then Pretty in Pink. Now this is an in color, and it is the last year of this Pretty in Pink. And there's the cardstock and the ink pad right below it. And then if we turn the page and we go to page 138, Balmy Blue cardstock, and the color, let me look at my card. I had the Flirty Flamingo Stampin Blends here. That's on page 138, down in the brights. And the Old Olive Stampin Blends for the carrot, right here. And where's pumpkin pie? So the Old Olive blends are the Regals, the Flirty Flamingo, and the pumpkin pie are brights, and that's where the Stampin' Blends can be found. Thank you so much for joining me for this Global Share Fair. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing my project with you. Get with the demonstrator who invited you so you can request the PDF that goes with all the projects. You'll get a supply list, photos, and of course a link to all the videos in this event. Until next time, remember, stamping is fun. Bye.